Today, I am going back to my roots, low stakes poker. It has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I lost $15,000 last video.
Down at the bottom and a very frustrating night for Sethi Poker.
No, it's just purely a personal decision. I am back in Franklin, Kentucky. I never knew I was gonna come back here, but man, the games were just too good. If you guys didn't see the video, I posted like 4 videos ago. I've only posted like 10 videos. Franklin, Kentucky, the barrel. The games are good. And what I need right now in my life is some good low stakes cash games that I know I can beat. Let's go make some money. Tomorrow, huge tournament, gonna be a different video, but this is gonna be a good weekend. Let's get to the card room, come on. That is right, we're back at the barrel in Franklin, Kentucky. This room is slowly becoming one of my favorite poker rooms in the entire United States. I cannot stress how good the games are, and you are gonna see that in display during this vlog. In our first hand, we have the beautiful, not so beautiful, ace-jack offsuit. I'm gonna raise it up to $10 and we get 2 callers. The flop comes pretty good. It comes ace, king, jack, 2 pair for us, but with a flush draw out there, when it checks to me, I am going to bet on the larger side. I bet $15. Lots of draws to get paid from and other top pairs, but only one player puts in the call, and when the turn is a brick, I decide to size up, but it doesn't matter too much. He's just going to fold, but nonetheless, never feels bad. Raking in our first hand of the session, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If you like seeing people win, this is gonna be a good video for you because I don't lose too many pots. Keeping that in mind, we're moving on to this next hand where I have the absolutely beautiful ace-king suited. I'm gonna raise it up to $15 over a limp, and everybody and their mother calls. I think 3 or 4 players put in the call before the big blind, who's playing about $340, $350, now squeezes to $100. In my mind, there's obviously only one thing for us to do here. There's so much dead money out there, and ace-king is the best hand to be bluffing with in spots like this, and sometimes we have the best hand, so I am going to 4-bet jam here, ripping it all in. Really don't care if he calls or if he folds. Either way, it's a good result for us, and we're happy with whatever happens. And it gets back to him, and he does not seem very comfortable, which is a good sign. He could always have a hand like king-queen suited, ace-queen suited, ace-jack suited, 10s, 9s, all of those hands that don't really like their life. But he does decide to put in the call, and he has pocket queens. A classic flip here, second hand of the night. Take it away, dealer. Bang! We make a flush. And you know what's really embarrassing? I had absolutely no idea that I made a flush. I'm trying to get better at like pulling my camera up and filming, and I was looking through my camera, so I couldn't actually see the suits of the cards. I could only see that we didn't hit an ace or a king, so I just thought we lost. And the guy next to me was actually filming the hand, and you can hear at the end of the video, he pans to me and I just go, how much is it? It's like the biggest needle for this guy that I just stacked, because I'm just like, I thought I lost, but I actually drilled a flush, and we're gonna be scooping in this massive $780, $800 pot. Let's go. That's a great way to start the session. We always love starting the session with big W's like this. Next hand. Keeping the momentum going, this next hand we have Jack King offsuit. My favorite hand. It is a straddled pot, so we're playing 1, 3, 6. I'm going to raise it up to $25, and I am not joking. The entire table calls. The whole table. Everyone. The guy on my left isn't there, but everybody else calls. We are going 5 ways in a 6-handed table. Maybe we go 5 ways at a 7-handed table. I don't know. Kentucky heads up though. The games are good, chat. The games are good. The flop comes ace, queen, deuce, rainbow, club, diamond, spade, I believe. So we have a gut shot here to the nuts, and if it checks to me, I will probably bet with our gut shot, but that doesn't matter because obviously someone's going to donk out into me for $45. There's a couple folds and we have a decision to make. We could raise with our gut shot as a bluff, knowing that we have all of the best hands on this board, and donks tend to not be that strong, but in 5 or 6 way pots like this, they usually are just better hands. So I decide with our clean outs to the nuts and some bluffing possibilities in the future, I'm going to put in the call for the good price, 150 in the middle, only have to call 45. Seems pretty reasonable to me, and I'm in position. So I put in the call, and everyone else folds. And do you know what the turn is? Could you maybe guess? It's a 10, baby. We have the nuts. Oh, I can already feel it seeping through my veins, bro. I'm just going to run good this session, and I absolutely love that feeling. There's nothing better than just turning the nuts in a bloated pot. Now he decides to slow down and check it over to me. Interesting. Well, I'm not going to be checking back. I did not call the flop to drill the nuts and then check back like a noob. So I bet out for $100. Very reasonable sizing, sir. You can put in the call with a queen. And he does. He puts in the call for $100, hoping for a brick, and that's what comes. It's like a 6 or something. It doesn't matter. It changes nothing. And when he checks it over to me, we only have one decision to make. I am all in. Our opponent immediately does not love it. He decides to fold, and we are scooping in a nice size pot. 3 for 3 here at the barrel. I love it. I pulled a U on that one. It always feels good to run hot. You want to know what makes you run even hotter at the poker table? If you wear Sethy poker merch. I can't guarantee that, but I heard from people who've bought the merch in the past. Guys, I have merch for the first time in like 2 years. If you want to check it out, the link is in the bio. I have the Anti-Pocket Jacks Club hoodie and shirt, and I also have the Nice Hand FU t-shirt. We only probably have like 2 more weeks of this store being available. So if you want to check it out, links in the description. I appreciate you. Let's move on to the next hand. In the 4th hand of the night, we have King Queen offsuit. I raise to $20 over a straddle, and 2 players put in the call. $65 in the middle, and the flop comes very good for our hand. It comes Queen 10 deuce with 2 diamonds. We have top pair on a board that has a lot of draws that we can get value from. So I decide to bet out for $30, a little under half pot, but I like the sizing. I think it's very good. One player puts in the call and the other player folds, going to a turn, which is a clean one. It is an offsuit 3, no front door flush. And now it's time to put the pedal to the metal. I bet $100. And our opponent thinks for a bit and decides to fold, and he shows us Jack 9. So we had an open ender, and you can hear me say,
that's what I wanted you to have.
Yeah. That's a little too steep to be looking around.
Yeah, fair enough. You're right.
Sucks to see him fold the open ender. It's one of those hands that we really are targeting that we wanted to get called by, as well as, you know, other pairs and flush draws and stuff like that. But no worries. I will take my free chips. Denying equity is never a bad thing. We're rolling here, and we're moving on to the next hand. This one is nuts, so strap in. This is actually one of the crazier hands I've played in a while, just because I'm happy with how I played it, but also the result is nuts. Just trust me. I have ace queen offsuit. Every crazy story for me always starts with ace queen offsuit. It's hilarious. Anyways, I'm going to raise ace queen offsuit to $15, and there are 2 callers going 3 ways. In the middle of 2 players, the flop comes, okay, it comes king, queen 4 with 2 spades. We have middle pair, some backdoors. It's all right, but I don't have a chance to make a decision because the out of position small blind player bets out for $15, 1/3 pot. I don't see any real reason to raise here. We can still be ahead, but my hand's not good enough to raise. So I just put in the call, and so does the cutoff. Going to a turn with just over $100 in the middle, and it's a pretty good one. It's an offsuit ace, giving us 2 pair. Now, I don't know what about this hand made this happen. Maybe it was the way the small blind was acting, but I got a very weird feeling that I was not ahead. Obviously, the most obvious draw on this board is either an ace high flush draw or Jack 10. And both of these players can easily have a hand like Jack 10. But the small blind player, the way that he bet out and the way he was acting in his check, it just felt off to me. And I'm not a huge vibes guy. I'm not a huge live read guy at all. But if you get a really strong feeling, you might as well take it into consideration. For that reason, I decide that I am going to do a little bit of pot controlling here, and I decide to check And now the cutoff player decides it's his turn to bet. He bets out for $45. It's a decent sized wager, but it's not huge, and I'd very happily continue or even check raise against this player depending on what happens with the small blind. And that is where this hand takes a massive turn. The small blind player now goes all in for $300. Look how long it takes me to make my decision. Exactly. I literally fold my cards in less than 1 second, and I will tell you why. There's no reason to think about this. There isn't. In low stakes poker, if you are getting check raised on the turn, every once in a while it's going to be the nuts. And then some of the other times, it's also the nuts. They never have anything besides the nuts. The last time I was check raised at a low stakes poker game, my grandma fell off her dinosaur. It literally never happens in low stakes poker. And even if it happens to you like 1 or 2 times out of 100, who cares? It doesn't matter. They're under bluffing. You should fold literally every single hand you have that is not the nuts in the spot. The cutoff player can still have the nuts. Ace Queen is inherently just a bluff catcher, and against 2 other players, there's absolutely no way I'm going to be getting in the mix. I snap fold my cards, and now the cutoff player goes into the tank. This is what I said, right? This is a crazy hand, not just because of this part, but watch what happens. The cutoff is in the tank. He thinks about this for a while. It seems like he has 2 pair, but I'm like, how do you have 2 pair? I had 2 pair. And he eventually calls. A huge pot is ensuing. Roll the tape. Let's see those hands. He had ace queen, and the river was a queen. Oh my gosh. I'm biting my lip. I really don't want to be the guy that speaks up and goes, holy shit, dude, I had ace queen too. There's no reason to tell people this. You don't want to let them know that you're making big folds. Also, it was a huge cooler. There's no need to speak in this moment, but wow. I mean, what a crazy hand. He literally hits a 2-outer. There's only 2 aces. There's only 1 ace and 1 queen left in the deck. Such a sick hand. I'm very happy with my fold. And obviously, if we would have called, we would have chopped it up or whatever. I don't care. I'm not upset about that at all. I'm extremely happy with my fold and how I played that hand. Just crazy. What a sick, sick hand. Wow. In this next hand, I have ace 6 of clubs, and I raise it up to $20. A bit loose, you could say, but can you blame me? I'm on a heater right now. There are 2 callers, and we are going to a flop 3 ways with $70 in the middle. The flop is ace, queen, deuce with 2 diamonds, and when it checks to me, we could definitely bet our hand, but sometimes it's nice to do a little bit of pot controlling. Our ace is not the best ace in the world, and I don't know. There's a lot of bad runouts for our hand anyway, so I just check this one back, and the turn seems like a safe one. It's another deuce, so the board is ace, queen, deuce, deuce. The straddle now comes out and bets $30. When we check back the flop, obviously I'm absolutely never folding on this turn, but we do want to proceed with some caution. I flick in the call, and the other player in the hand folds his cards. Going to a river, and it is not a very good one. It's the jack of diamonds bringing in the front door flush. It's a paired board, and now our opponent bets out for $50. To be honest, I think this hand is a bit of a misstep. I would rather just see myself bet the flop and then maybe just fold the turn or pot control the turn and fold the river. But I decide, you know, I'm kind of on a heater, haven't lost a hand yet really today, and I stick in the call thinking I under-repped my hand, but it never really mattered. The opponent has a deuce, and he also has a flush. So he had an absolute monster of a flop. I think he had 9 deuce of diamonds, so bottom pair and a flush draw, and then he ends up making a flush on the river. You didn't need it, sir. You were ahead with the deuce. A little bit of a setback, but oh well. In the very next shuffle, I look down at queen 10 offsuit in the straddle. There is a limp, and then it folds to me. Just with 2 players left in the hand, I'm going to be raising a hand as strong as queen 10 offsuit. So I make it $25 to go, and the player in position puts in the call. Going to a flop, which comes not too bad. It comes queen 8-8, no flush draw, and I decide to bet very small. It's hard to get value from a lot of hands. There's some gut shots, but other than that, not a lot of hands that are going to be putting in the call. Probably still bad. Maybe we want to size up a little bit, but I bet out for $15 into a pot of about 55, maybe 50. And he now makes it $45. Not going to be going and folding top pair very often here, but the alarm bells are present in the back of my mind. Going to proceed with some caution. I put in the call. The turn is a pretty clean one. It is a 6, and now I check it over to our opponent, and he once again continues firing. He bets out for $65. Like I said, the alarm bells are present, but this is not a huge sizing, and I am not a folder, guys. You know I'm pretty sticky. I don't like folding my cards. So I'm going to need to see a river card. I'm going to need him to prove it to me that he has a good hand. But regardless, I put in the call, and we're going to a river, which is another good one. It's an offsuit 4. There's no flush. It's basically an 8 or nothing if he bets this river. I check, and I am pleased to see him check it back. We announced that we have a queen, and he flicks his cards in frustration before returning them to the muck. It's at this point in the night that I realize I literally haven't had food today. I'm like 300 milligrams of caffeine in, and my stomach is completely empty. Oh, God help me. I really don't even know how I am an adult. I forget to eat constantly, especially when I'm playing poker. So I head out to the parking lot where they always have a food truck of some sort, and I am going to update you on my thoughts on the session thus far. All right, we got the food truck in the back. We're on break a little bit from our meetup game. I'm going to stop touching my hat because you guys told me to stop touching my hat. So here we go. Challenge accepted. It's going really well. We had ace king suited versus queens, really big pot early on. Didn't even know that I had a flush because I was looking through my phone and couldn't see anything. Since then, I've just been running fairly hot, drilled some gutters, had some 2 pairs. This room is just good vibes, man. I don't know what it is about this room. I run well when I'm here. The people are super positive, and the games are amazing. You literally can't make it up. If you guys are in the Nashville area, man, you got to make your way up to the Barrel Social. It's just too good. They got security, man. Everybody's safe. It's just the perfect place. If you're in Nashville, you got to get up here. I'm going to show you this food from the food truck because I think this shit's going to be heat. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I think it's going to be so good. And then we're going to get back in there, play more poker. I'm really excited about the next video. It won't be in this one, but the main event's tomorrow. And I got that tournament bug right now. I just want to grind. So I'm really excited for the $600 main. It's going to be $100K plus guarantee. First place is going to be $20-something thousand. Regardless, I'm done yapping. Make your way to the Barrel Social. I'll show you this food. Let's go play poker. The food was indeed very, very good. But when I was eating my food, I sliced my lip open with the super sharp tin foil. I'm literally gushing blood out of my lip.
This is what happens when you crack somebody's aces.
Fun fact, blood is not very sanitary, and you should not be playing a game where you're touching your chips when you're profusely bleeding. So I'm just like sitting there with like a napkin and tissue trying to get my lip to stop bleeding, and it won't. It probably took like an hour to an hour and a half off of this session because I was literally gushing blood, bro. What is my luck? Back to the poker. We have an absolutely masterclass of how not to play poker on my end. We're playing 1-3-6. There's a couple limps, and it gets to me in the small blind with Jack 7 of diamonds. And I'm at a new table and haven't played a hand in a while. I would like to see myself probably just raise this one up if I'm going to play it, but whatever. I just decide to limp in. It's been a fairly passive table, and we can make some straights or flushes or whatever. I don't know. I'm just trying to give action in a bad way, obviously. And it gets to the straddled player, and I immediately get punished. He raises, but I hear the dealer say 15 large, like $15. And I'm like, oh, that's a really small raise. And then the guy on my right calls, and I just put in $15 because I'm like, 15 bucks. He goes, no, 15 more. So it's 21. Obviously I should have folded, but I already put my chips in the middle. So now we're going to a flop, bloated flop, out of position with Jack 7 of diamonds, 3 ways. Wish me luck. The flop comes a bit concerning. It comes Jack 10-6. If our opponent does have a good hand, we might get into some trouble here. I check, and I'm happy to see the original raiser now check, and the button also check. The turn is clean. It's a 4. So we still have top pair. Whatever. I guess I'm just going to bet. I bet out for $25. The original raiser calls, and now the button folds. I feel like I have the best hand. He could have like an ace king, ace queen type holding, maybe a pocket pair. I don't know, but the river's a 7, and now I have 2 pair. All of a sudden, I'm like, hey, thank goodness I played this pot. I'm going to get paid. I decide to bet $80. It's a sizing that a bad hand could maybe flick in the call, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't think about it for very long, and he decides to fold his cards. A very poorly played hand on my part. Just shows how hot we're running today because it still ends with the chips coming back to me. In this one, I am going to raise ace queen suited to $15, and we get 3 callers. The flop comes king high, king 7-3 rainbow, and when it checks to me, I'm only showing this hand to give an example on why it's really not worth it to bet multi-way. We have a backdoor flush draw, but I bet out for $15. One player calls, and the next player raises to 45 or 50. Very small raise for the way this hand's going down. Doesn't really even make any sense to me, but obviously I'm going to fold my cards. We have some backdoors, but I'm not going to be getting involved here. And the other player puts in the call. As you can see, once they get to showdown here, they end up playing a pretty big pot. They both just had a king. We were just like in last place by a mile. Stupid, stupid, stupid. In this next hand, I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm not 100% sure what the board is or what I'm doing. This is one of the worst hands of poker ever played, and I'm not even certain what the board is. Usually I zoom in on the board, or I write a note about it, or I say it during the video so I can have that information when I edit it a month later. But for some reason I forgot in this hand. So we're flying blind. And it starts off with me 3-betting king 10 offsuit from the small blind. I know, don't shut the video off yet. There is a raise to $10, and I make it $45 to go with king 10 offsuit from the small blind. This is obviously a bit wide, but I want to give some action, and the table has been fairly passive so far. So I'm happy to get in there with a little bit of a wider range, but not very happy to see the big blind now cold call this 3-bet. The games are good, man. The games are good. And speaking of really good games, for those of you that hang out in the live streams, you know I've been playing a lot on Club WPT Gold. If you want to play in some of the softest games literally in the world, hard vouch, I'm dead serious. The games are phenomenal. Use code Sethi. The link is in my bio. A lot of people ask me, hey, what do I get for using code Sethi? Nothing, man. Literally nothing. I don't know, honestly. I have nothing for you. I'm so sorry. But you know you get to support a bum like me. And also, hopefully one day we'll have our own free roll. Can't guarantee that, but anyways, back to the hand. We get cold called, and then the original raiser folds, and we're going to a flop with a bad hand, out of position, and it comes king 4 deuce all spades, I think. And on boards with monotone flops like this, all spades, we just want to be doing a lot of pot controlling. Our hand is bad. A lot of bad runouts, and there's not really any incentive for us to just pile chips in the middle. So I decide to check, and our opponent very quickly checks back, which makes me feel a lot better. The turn, I believe. So the board is king 4-4 deuce with 3 spades, and I think our hand wants to bet now. There's about $100 in the middle, and I would like to see myself bet somewhere around the $40 range, $50 range maybe, just to deny equity from single spade holding hands. And then we can also get called by like 9s and 8s and 7s that didn't want to 4-bet pre, but also didn't want to fold. But I'm an idiot, and I bet out for $25. This hand literally makes no sense. I'm just an absolute big fishy. I suck. This doesn't make any sense. This is a very poorly played hand. And now the big blind player, because why not make this hand any more crazy, decides to raise to $50. Just raises to $50. I'm never folding. Let's get this hand over with. I put in the call. The river is an absolute brick. I check, he checks, I show king 10, and we win. This hand is like literally nightmare fuel, bro. It's like when I'm laying in bed and I just get attacked by sleep paralysis, my demon be like... In this last and final hand of the session, we look down at, once again, my least favorite hand in all of poker, ace queen offsuit. There's an early position open to $15, and there are a few callers. When it gets to me in the small blind, I am going to squeeze. I make it $80 to go. This is too small. I would like to see myself go rather towards the 100, 110, maybe even bigger. Obviously, the goal of squeezing is to pick up all the dead money and not have to play a pot out of position. But if we do, we want to put as much money in the middle as possible to make our decisions as easy as possible. Regardless, I make it 80, and the original raiser puts in the call, and everyone else folds. Heads up, going to a flop with about $200 in the middle. and the flop does not help us. It comes 9, 5, deuce, rainbow. In a 3-bet pot, I'm going to be c-betting basically 100% of my hands unless it comes like 6, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9. I bet out for $50. I go 1/4. I would like to see myself go a little bit bigger, maybe 65, but it can't be that bad. It gives us a good read on the type of hand he has. He could start raising some of his good stuff and folding some of his bad stuff, even in 3-bet pots, but he does put in the call. $300 in the middle, and the turn is a 10, and it brings in a backdoor flush draw. At this point, we have two options. We can give up, check it over to our friend, see what he wants to do, or we could just start turning our hand into a bluff and running a sick one. Now, in low stakes poker, I typically do not recommend to run big bluffs because you just don't need to win. But this guy is a vlog watcher. He watches the shorts. He knows who I am, and he appears to be a fairly thinking player. So I think we can start getting some folds from one pair holdings, at least by the river, hopefully. So in this exact hand, I decided I'm going to die on the sword, and I have aces. I have kings, and you're going to have to tell me that I don't. So I bet out for $150, and our opponent once again puts in the call. Getting a bit scary here. The river is a brick. It is the 3. No backdoor flush, and our opponent has about $400 left in his stack. It's a nice SPR. If I had aces, if I had kings, I'd be all in. So that is what I do. I'm not going to lie. This one got my blood going a little bit. My heart racing. I'm all in. And our opponent doesn't like it, but he's not terrified. He looks like he really wants to put in the call. And it makes me feel like he might have pocket jacks. Maybe a hand like ace 9. I'm not 100% certain. But after a grueling minute and a half, 2 minutes, our opponent folds. Give me them chips, boy. Come on. You can hear him ask.
You bluff me? You can show it. Show it. Oh, that's sick.
God, I love a good bluff that just gets the adrenaline going. After this hand, it was our time to rack up our chips and head home to get some much needed rest. It was a long day. We played 7 hours of poker, in for $500, out for $1,650. That is a win of $1,150 in 7 hours, which comes out to 54 big blinds an hour. I can't shake my head at that. That is a pretty good session. Obviously, we ran like the sun, but after our loss at Hustler, it is nice to get back in the driver's seat. Yeah, it was a fun session. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time. Peace!